Go ahead.
Rick, the Bucks have thrown different defenses at you guys the whole series so far, and you guys have been able to adjust to them and still score. What do you that say about both your players' ability to adjust and the prep you guys have had for these games so far?
Well, we were fortunate tonight. We slowed down in the fourth quarter, and we got into a lot of isolation stuff instead of moving the ball the way we're capable. And so, credit Milwaukee for a switching defense that got us up against the clock, and so we're going to have to do better there. We know we can score points, but there's a lot more to this than just scoring points. Look, Giannis and Lillard are two forces of nature out there, and we just got to find a way to do a better job, and try to limit Giannis a little bit more. When he just gets in there and just dunks the ball, it's tough. And Lillard had an amazing game considering the circumstances, and so. But I credit our guys a lot. Down the stretch, they threw a hellacious punch to get it to 2. Pascal hit as big a shot as you're ever going to see in the playoffs on the right wing. We were able to survive. And so the building was as loud as I've ever heard it. And, I've been in here for the finals games in 2000 and a lot of conference finals games, and it's never been louder than it was tonight. So a big thank you to our fans, because that really helps us.
Up 2-0, you guys didn't have that reality last year. How do you have to coach differently, or what's important to you for your team in that scenario going forward?
What scenario?
Being up 2-0 for the first time with this group.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not going to analyze every last little thing, just for the sake of analyzing it. I mean, we got to look at the next game, and we did some very good things to win the game. And look, it's a 48-minute game, and a lot of the stuff that happens in the first quarter really matters. It really matters. And so the rebounding needs to be better. That's certainly one thing. I think our recognition offensively can be better. At times we slowed down when we needed to be playing faster. And look, Game 3 in Milwaukee is going to be one of the tougher environments you're ever going to see in an NBA playoff game, and we'll need to be prepared for that as well.
You mentioned the shot that Pascal hit. Obviously, Andrew hits another one on top of that. Just how big was it for him to come through the way that he did, but also the defense you got from him, largely taking on the assignment of taking on Dame for this game. What you like about just what you got from him across the board?
Yeah, I mean, Nembhard is a terrific competitor, and the bigger the challenge, the more he loves the opportunity to rise to the challenge. Again, we put him in a tough spot on the step back he hit on Giannis. I mean, it wasn't a good possession. He got stuck with the ball with 6 or 7 seconds and manufactured, a big time shot, which we obviously really needed. So we want to avoid those situations whenever we can. But good teams like Milwaukee are going to put you in some tough spots, and in those situations you need somebody that can make a play, and he did. And it was a very big moment.
No, obviously you've come to expect this from Pascal, but he's certainly giving you the sturdy, I guess, play that you've expected. In the first couple of games of this, just how important is he, and how fitting is it that he hits the shot that you absolutely need to have there.
Yeah, he's been our rock really all year. From start to finish, he's been so consistent, and he has the experience. The game it slows down for him. He's never in a hurry, unless he needs to be. And in most cases, he's the one that decides. So that was a very, very big play. And then he had a lot of other big plays. I mean, the guy goes 8 for 16 for 24 points, and I can think of a couple other drives where I thought there was contact and there was no whistle, but he still finished it. And they're just big plays. So there's a lot of great players in the series, and he's one of them.
Rick, what's the quality in a team that allows it to kind of finish games in that situation, right, where you take a big punch like that, like you said? There's a thin line between finishing and maybe folding, and that, I don't know, is there a certain growth that you've seen, and what's that quality, primary quality?
Well, we've had a lot of challenges this year, been in a lot of close games, a lot of clutch games. I don't know where we rank, but early in the year, it seemed like almost every game we were playing for a while was a clutch game, and we were, the game, and we were not winning at the rate that, we normally did for various reasons, but the games that we were winning were clutch games. And so, we've got some experience with this. And you just got to assume that playoff games are going to be clutch games. That's just the nature of them. And so you got to embrace that, and we've got to be prepared to execute. And sometimes executing isn't calling a play. Executing is being true to your capabilities as a ball movement team, and that's where we're going to have to be better in the next game.
Rick, obviously this playoffs started off much better than last year's set of playoffs. So how much does a 2-0 start help you guys have the momentum going through the rest of the series, and how big was this win today?
Well, we've done our job, and that's all we've done. We've protected home court, and now the scene shifts, and their building will be wild on Friday and Sunday, and so we've got to be prepared. And this is a new situation for a lot of the guys on our team, and so as we move into it, those of us that have been in these situations have got to help prepare our guys, but we've got to have a strong element of simplicity with it. And so tonight, going into tonight's game, a big thing was how we channel our energy, and all things considered, we did a good job of it. On the road, it's going to be probably even more challenging.
Rick, there was an anonymous player poll that came out, and the players voted Tyrese as the most overrated player in the league. He's been candid about.
I heard about this, and the other guys on the list were Jimmy Butler and Giannis, right? And I want to see the guys' faces that voted those guys. I want to see the faces of those guys. All right, this is a bullshit poll. Not everybody even answered in the poll. All right, guys were able to answer if they wanted to. They were asked on camera or with a microphone. The whole thing's bullshit. Okay, and it's just it's really a shameful thing. It's just a shameful thing. All right, Jimmy Butler would be a finalist for MVP if he had gotten to Golden State a month and a half earlier. I mean, what that guy's done. And Giannis, are you kidding me? I'm done. Thanks,
guys. It'll be Pascal.